Hey there, pickleballers. Welcome to the PickleFit podcast, where we're not just chasing dinks, drops, and drives. We're chasing strength, mobility, and injury-proof bodies that actually hold up past 50. I'm your host, Coach Kevin. I'm a healthy aging expert, certified personal trainer and nutrition coach, and I'm the guy who still thinks he's gonna go pro one of these days. Each week, we're serving up simple, actionable tips on strength training, mobility, and nutrition, because if you want to dominate the court, it all starts with what you're doing off the court. So grab your paddle, lace up those sneakers, and get ready to move better, play harder, and stay in the game for life. This is PickleFit. Let's roll. All right, beautiful people, let's get real for a second. You can have the best paddle, you can have a killer drive, and you can have a killer workout routine, but if your head's not in the game, it's game over. All right, guys, we all know that one guy or gal at the club who plays like a pro in warm-ups, but the moment the pressure kicks in, their game kind of unravels a little bit, right? Here's the truth. On the court, your brain is your most important piece of equipment. And after age 50, life gets, let's just say, full. You've got work stress, family stuff, physical changes, maybe some confidence dips, and all of that's going to show up on the court if you don't train the mental side. A strong mindset isn't a bonus, it's your competitive advantage, and today we're going to talk about how to build that advantage. Okay, let's talk about what we mean by mental fitness. Mental fitness is not woo-woo. It's not about thinking positive or visualizing rainbows and butterflies and unicorns. It's about developing skills that help you stay focused under pressure, developing skills that help you bounce back after a bad point. It's about developing skills that help you control frustration, keep your cool when opponents try to rattle you, and it's about helping you play with confidence, not hesitation. We train our muscles, we train our joints, why not train our brains? Mental fitness is the difference between reacting and responding like a pro. So let's break this down into 5 practical, trainable mental skills that we can all work on. And these 5 skills are focus, self-talk control, emotional regulation, resilience or bounce back ability, and confidence on command. So let's break each of these down a little bit. Let's start with focus. You want to stay in the moment. Stop the mind from wandering to the last shot, past mistakes, or to future anxieties. We want to use reset rituals. Maybe bounce the ball 3 times, tap your thigh with the paddle, breathe, use a cue word. You want to practice focusing between points as much as during points. So those are some things that we can really start doing here for our focus part of these skills. Next is self-talk control. What you say to yourself becomes your reality. Don't want to get too woo-woo, but we are manifesting our future reality in a game with our self-talk. So ditch the "I always screw this up" and replace it with something like, "Hey, I'm really learning to respond with control," or "I'm learning something new in this situation," as opposed to "Why do I always mess this up?" So replacing that negative self-talk with something positive. And have a go-to catchphrase. Maybe it's calm, maybe it's sharp, maybe it's ready, maybe it's strong, maybe it's quick. But have that go-to phrase that when you catch yourself with that, "Hey, why do I always screw up these third shot drops?" Replace that with, "I'm sharp, I'm strong, I'm fast, I'm ready, I'm calm." But have some sort of a go-to phrase for yourself. Number 3, emotional regulation. Don't pretend nerves or frustration don't happen. I mean, they do. We're not going to get away from that reality, but we want to train that nervous system with breath work. I'm a big fan of some form of box breathing. Now, this doesn't work while you're in the game. This is what you do before the game, between games. Maybe we take 30 seconds and do this between a particularly nasty point. But box breathing is simply where we're going to breathe deeply into our diaphragm. And we're going to do that, let's just say, for 4 seconds. We're going to hold for a couple seconds, and then we're going to slowly exhale. So in this example, we would breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 2 seconds, breathe out for 8 seconds. And it's that exhalation being longer than that inhalation where the magic happens. We're going to inhale calm and exhale tension. In other words, we're going to kind of move ourselves from that fight or flight response that we're in into more of that rest and digest and ready state. I know this sounds cheesy. It totally works. Try it. Do this next time before you walk out on the court. Do this, like I said, in between a particularly bad point. Just take 20 seconds. Get a couple of these deep, steadying breaths. Stay grounded. All right, number 4, resilience. You got to have the ability to bounce back. I love this idea of I've got bounce back ability. The best players don't avoid mistakes. They just recover fast. I've heard it said you want to be like a goldfish with a very short memory. It's like the quarterback on the football field. When he throws a interception, he needs to get that out of his head as fast as he can. If that's in the back of his head the next time he throws a pass, he's in trouble. Maybe you practice building what I call mistake rituals. So after you do something, let's take a deep breath. Let's tap our paddle. I typically tap my paddle on my thigh after I do something silly or make a mistake. And visualize overcoming, not avoiding tough moments. This was big for me. Early on, as I started playing pickleball, I'd get frustrated and I'd say somebody was just hammering drives at me and I just couldn't handle that drive, couldn't reset it, couldn't whatever. My mindset went to how do I avoid this as opposed to how do I overcome this? And that was a big moment for me as I decided, hey, I'm not going to avoid this. I'm going to step into it and I'm going to treat this as a learning moment. I'm going to get good at this. So visualize yourself overcoming wherever you're having a tough time. And that's really going to help the resilience of your play and give you that bounce back ability after a particularly rough shot. All right. And last, but certainly not least, you want to be able to call on confidence on command or confidence on demand. You don't want to have to wait for a win to feel confident. You want to practice confidence like it's a skill because it is. It's just like a muscle. The more we practice, the better we get at this. Use visualization. See yourself performing skillfully and with control. Have some sort of a pre-match routine, especially for you tournament players out there. I like to dress sharp. I want to walk tall and radiate presence and confidence. And I've got a playlist that pumps me up that I'm going to listen to before I step out on the court. Remember that your body language can either be a reaction or it can be a weapon. In other words, what I mean is, as I'm walking on that court, is it a reaction? Am I walking with my shoulders slumped, my head down? Do I have this more fearful posture? Or am I walking tall? My shoulders back? Am I radiating confidence? Like, yeah, I'm ready. Bring this on. That's what I mean by body language, either being a reaction to what's happening or a weapon at your disposal and to use to your advantage. And remember, confidence isn't just how you feel, it's what you do. I want you to act like the player that you want to be, and your brain's going to catch up, and so will your skill level. All right, so let's talk about some daily practices here we can do to train our mental game. And here's the good news. You don't need to sit cross-legged in a mountain cave to train your mind. We're not going to talk about an hour-long meditation where you're saying Om and visualizing your dinks or your drops. Instead, we're just going to have this really simple practice. I like the idea of having a 1-minute reset, a 1-minute focus reset. Again, I'm going to use that box breathing. I'm going to visualize myself strong, confident, skillful, stepping out onto the court and playing my best game. And I'm going to use cue words as well. You should definitely have some sort of pre-match routine. And I want you to think about, how do I establish a consistent warm-up and a consistent mindset ritual? You should certainly be warming up before you step out on the court. You should be warming up that mindset, especially those of you that are more competitive players or in tournament environments. You should have a mindset ritual that you do every single time before you step out on that court. And then post-match, you should have a post-match reflection. Let's break this down. Ask yourself things like, what did I do well? Start there. What did you do well? And acknowledge that. What challenged you? And what's my growth focus from here on? In other words, what do I need to work on? Again, I'm not beating myself up and like, oh God, I sucked, or I wasn't able to get to those balls, or I kept hitting into the damn net. What's wrong with me? Instead, okay, I got rattled. Why? And how can I change that for the next time I play? Now, that's a daily practice that I think that you guys, before you step out on the court, everybody should be doing that. And when you're in the match, when it comes to training your mental game, you should always have some sort of next point reset ritual after every single rally. I tap my paddle on the wall or the fence or whatever's behind me before every point, whether we're serving or I'm serving. I do that every time. It's just kind of my mental reset. And watch your self-talk in real time. Do not allow yourself to get into the habit of negative self-talk. That's going to kill your game. And then use your breath control. Use that box breathing during any timeouts or in between games. Or look, even if you just need a minute as you're walking back to serve or you're walking back to be served to, Use that box breathing to get 1 or 2 deep, slow breaths just to really steady yourself. And remember that mental fitness isn't just theory, it's reps, it's practice. You train it just like any other skill. So here's the thing I want to leave you for. Think about your mindset for your life, not just pickleball. This isn't just about playing better. It is about playing better, but it's not just that. It's about showing up stronger in every area of your life. That same mindset that helps you stay composed in a tight tiebreaker, helps you stay grounded during stress at home or work or when your knees are talking back after a long day. Pickleball is the perfect training ground for life. Learn to breathe through tension. Learn to respond instead of reacting. Learn to build mental toughness that carries over to everything else. The court is going to reveal the mindset you've built off the court. Let it sharpen you. All right, folks, here's your PickleFit challenge for this week. I want you to pick one mindset tool from today's episode. Maybe it's a reset ritual. Maybe it's breathing or a cue word, and use it the next time you play. I want you to pay attention to your self-talk and your reactions. Awareness is step number 1 on this journey. And then I want you to create a post-match reflection habit. Just 3 quick questions, no judgment, just feedback. What did I do well? What challenged me? And what's my growth focus going forward? And remember, your mental game is like a muscle. Train it with intention, and it will serve you when you need it the most. Okay, folks, that's a wrap for today's episode of the PickleFit podcast. If you've enjoyed this show, please do me a favor. Subscribe, leave a review, and share this with your pickleball crew. Let's help more players over 50 stay strong, mobile, and off the injured list. Got a question, topic idea, or just want to say hello? Shoot me a message. I'd love to hear from you. You can message me anytime at coach@mypicklefit.com. Until next time, stay strong, stay mobile, and whatever you do, don't skip leg day. This is Coach Kevin signing off. I'll see you on the court.